Hey guys, so I wanted to do a little like story time slash recap of today because so much happened and I just have so much to tell and it's just crazy. So, for those of you who don't know, I met Noah Schnapp today in New York City from a TBH meet and greet. But since my dad invested, we were invited to go to this friends and family breakfast beforehand from 10 to 11. So we got to go in before everybody else. It was really only, I want to say 20 to 30 people, honestly. And it was only investors who were allowed, but my brother and I were the youngest people there. So it was really just low key. And it was incredible. I'm so thankful my dad invested because we were in there for an hour and a half. Best hour and a half of my life. So we got to the store and we went up and told them we were oh, we were here for the thing. So he was oh, let me go get the list just so they can check that we were actually invited. And so Elena, I'm pretty sure she's one of the CEOs or co-CEOs. She came out, she introduced herself to all of us, and she was okay, well, come on in, I'll introduce you to Noah. And I was okay. So Noah's standing on the other side of the door, and we literally get full introduced. She's this is my dad's name is Michael. She's this is Michael and Josie and Evan, they invested and they're here. And so he hugged all of us. I took a picture with him then. Yeah, so then me and my brother kind of walked aside. My dad was still talking to him. This is the part that's I can't even process. My dad was telling him, being oh, she's she was Josie Schnapp on TikTok, blah blah blah. And he was oh yeah, he literally recognized my name from TikTok, which boggles my mind. But yeah, that was the first interaction. Then we kind of just hung around. It was a store, so we did some shopping, and we were talking to some other people that were there because my dad talks to everybody. And then I was nervous to go back up to him because he was having conversations with everyone, but he was standing right there. So I was just kind of standing waiting, but he was talking to people, so I was too nervous to go up to him. So I went over to Elena and I was can you walk me over because I'm actually so scared. She was yeah, of course. So she walks me up and she's well, just wanted to talk to you a bit more. So I kind of forgot what we talked about then, but it was mostly just he said, he was oh, you went to Miami, right? And Elena brought it up that I was in the Miami meet and greet, and I told him that I went to StrangerCon too. And yeah, that was mostly it. We kind of just talked about that, and that I've met him before, and we talked about TBH and the brand and everything. Then after that was kind of a short conversation. Then after that, we hung around for a bit, and then my brother wanted to get another picture with him. So I went up with him to take a picture, and then I also got another picture with him. And then I asked, I was oh, can we make a quick TikTok? And then he was yeah, of course. But then he was wait, let me check if we have time. So he asks this, I don't know if you guys know Avery. She runs the social media stuff for TBH. So he was Avery, do we have time? And she's oh, let's take a few pictures. So he was okay, we'll take a few and then we'll do it after. So they were taking pictures of him with other people. And so yeah, I was just really hanging around then and not doing much. I met people though. I'll get to that later. And then my brother and I were standing together, and Noah came up to us and was talking to us. He was asking us just simple things do you guys fight a lot, blah blah blah. And then I forgot even how this came up, but he was wait, so you what's, he was you have TikTok? And I was yeah. I was yeah, I used to have a lot of followers, but then I got logged out. He was can I see your account? And I was yeah. So I pulled up my phone and I'm showing him my TikTok account, and I'm scrolling through some of my videos, and then I showed him my old account and the TikTok we made in Miami. So that was really fun. And then I was oh, can we make our TikTok really quick? He's yeah. So I posted this on my Instagram story, but we kind of went over. I had to teach him the dance because he didn't know it, but it's an easy dance. So I taught him the dance, and then we set it up, we did it, blah blah blah. It was funny. Yeah, that was really fun because it was just so casual, because we were watching someone else do it, and we're figuring out how to do it, and then we watched it over, and he was no, we did it, we were good. So that was fun. So after that, it was kind of getting time to leave, so we said bye to him and everything, and then we were checking out our stuff that we bought because we were getting dog treats for our dogs, and he came up to us and was oh, what are you guys getting? So we were talking about stuff, and then he literally tried to offer to pay for our stuff, and we were no, absolutely not, you're not doing that. It was really funny and random. So then we left, and I met up with Carly in line, and she wanted me to go back in with her. And I'm not gonna pass it up. So I went back in a second time with Carly. This was quick, like it wasn't as much, but I went in a second time with Carly, and he was like, or well, Avery recognized me. He was like, "Oh, you guys are back," and so that time I didn't like get a picture or anything because I already got some inside, so I didn't want to like hold up time, but yeah, that's really all that happened. I just kind of like went up, I said hi. We had him sign our like dog treat bag for some reason. I don't know why my brother wanted him to. He signed that. Then he was like, "Oh my god, I need to see a picture of your dogs." So I pulled up a picture on my phone of my dogs. We're like talking about my dogs for a bit. Yeah, that's all my interactions with Noah. But I also had some like fun interactions with Avery. She's the one who does all the social media. We were talking to her, and me and my dad were like talking to her, and we were kind of jokingly like, "Oh, like Josia's like pretty popular on TikTok, like she loves making videos," and talking about how like she was like, "Oh yeah, like I run all the social media," and she told me, she was like, "DM me," because I run the TBH account. She was like, "DM me from the TBH account, tell me it's you and that we met, and we'll stay in touch." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm staying in touch with TBH. But yeah, that's all that happened today. This is a long video because so much happened, so like I don't expect anyone to actually watch the whole thing. But yeah, that's everything that happened. I loved meeting some people. Some people came up to me because they recognized me from TikTok, so I loved meeting you. And yeah, if you watched this whole video, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my little story time. But yeah, that's everything.